various AEW talents gathering around saying, "Oh, Tony, I can't wait to come to TV this week. I hope you use me. I hope you use me in a backstage segment. I hope you use me on television, maybe at the Ring of Honor tapings. I can't wait to contribute." Well, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you go. April Fools. Oh, I get it. It's an April Fool's joke. No, I'm releasing you on April Fools. Thanks, guys. I'm John Rentham with my real honest thoughts on the AEW 2024 releases Round 1. I say Round 1 because apparently, according to various reports and various sources, and various people that are talking about this stuff, it's going to be one of a couple rounds. Now, look, at the end of the day, wrestling is a business. WWE got killed for releasing a lot of people during the pandemic when nobody could wrestle. And sure, they've had moments where they've been pretty cruel releasing people that were injured and other stuff. More on that here in a bit. But the reason I decided to talk about this particular list of wrestlers as of now, as of Tuesday morning, and they could end up doing another round. I could end up doing another one of these videos just for fun, because why not? Tony Khan talked about the mass firings, bringing on people, and honoring contracts. And to his credit, unless somebody was fired for cause, or unless it was like Jimmy Havoc, or unless it was somebody that wanted out of their contract, because Chris Jericho absolutely, allegedly did not do anything, like with Kylie Ray, possibly, maybe, we'll see, or when the world shut down and various people couldn't travel. I believe Sadie Gibbs was one of the wrestlers. I wonder what she's doing. That being said, Tony Khan was honoring contracts and paying a shit pot full of money to a lot of people that were not used. Some of these names I forgot were even still with the company. That's no disrespect to them. Now, there are going to be the people who say, why wasn't this person? Why wasn't that person? We should never wish for people to lose their jobs, but there are times where some people are getting paid so much money and their contribution level to that particular brand is over here, way down in the dirt, practically having to be dug up. And then, beaten on the chest. Liv! 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 No, Liv has nothing to do with this. Currently, Liv has nothing to do with AEW. Shame that Liv is not being used at WrestleMania. This isn't about WrestleMania. Let's talk about these releases. See, on April Fool's Day. Now, these apparently were decided before the CM Punk interview with Ariel Helwani happened on the MMA Hour, which, yes, I did a video breaking that down and giving my opinions on certain people. But these were decided upon, and we have more coming up. So, maybe. I hope not, because it is a business, but also you have to look at the logistics of the whole thing. How much are these people, costing? How much are they contributing? There's really only maybe one that I'm really surprised by, just because of how I thought they contributed pretty well. But there are some that have been there since day one that haven't done all that much. And you got to cycle through people. Nobody can stay in the same company forever unless you're Sting in WCW. And even he, after coming over from the UWF, he was there from like late 87 until the doors closed. But that was also a different time. Now that you have so many people being exposed on a worldwide platform, and AEW wrestlers are allowed to be part, of indie shows, select indie dates, and do stuff. And more on that here in a little bit with one particular talent that I didn't know about until I read from one person. Like, oh, no, this actually shouldn't have been the case. That being said, let's talk about these releases, and let's break down a few of these things. Showing that Tony Khan maybe isn't exactly the nice guy that you think he is. Yes, he's the son of a billionaire. He's got money. His dad's giving him a lot of money. And he's paying his inheritance. But they have a lot of television production costs. They're paying so many goddamn wrestlers. They recently signed Ospreay, Mercedes, and Okada, which I imagine weren't cheap. And some of these talents weren't being used. You gotta cycle through people. But at the end of the day, maybe don't sign anyone and everyone, and then you won't have to do any kind of mass firings like this, and it won't be such a bad look for the best company to work for. We're the best wrestle. Let's talk about the list. Stu Grayson, who apparently was let go at one point, or his contract was just, allowed to expire. He came back, I think, at one of the Canada shows last year, I want to say. It was last year or 2022. I think it was last year. And he'd been getting a healthy paycheck, and then he got released. So I guess they decided not to really use him, so He's in good shape. He's been wrestling for a while. I imagine that he'll have some work on the indies. The one that surprises me is Dasha. Because Dasha's a better ring announcer than Justin Roberts. Dasha also doesn't have these skeletons in her closet Justin Roberts does. If you know, you know. Dasha also has a great look. Yes, she is attractive as hell, but she also is a good ring announcer. And I would like to see maybe Impact bring her in. Maybe WWE bring her back. She was a good benefit to the company. Like, I'm sorry, Justin Roberts isn't that great of a ring announcer now, and maybe hasn't been for a while. Maybe never was that good in hindsight. Dasha should have been kept, because Dasha was pretty goddamn good. The boys, Dalton Castle's boys, apparently were involved in an angle on Ring of Honor weekly programming. You can't even call it television. Even if you watch it on television, it's on a streaming service. I guess they were involved in an angle. I didn't know. I didn't get the Dalton Castle stuff. I feel bad for whoever these guys are being released, but I never care for the Dalton Castle gimmick. I don't know where the hell they're going to go. But I wish them nothing but the best. Anthony Henry, one part of the Twerk Horsemen. I think that was their name. I know, Work Horsemen. Kidding. Having fun. With J.D. Drake. And Anthony Henry apparently he got injured at an indie show. I think suffered a broken jaw. Dislocated or broken. I'm not totally sure on that. And couldn't work, and now he's being fired. Now, that is a bit of a sticking point. Khan should have at least said, I'll pay you until you're recovered, and then I'm going to let you go. Because if he was such a nice, owner, he would do that. He wouldn't do what WWE done. WWE, I believe, released tests while he was recovering from his neck injury sometime in 2004, and released Dawn Marie while she was pregnant and the whole bunch. And I'm not trying to make it WWE, AEW. I'm just trying to provide examples. But Anthony Henry really, honestly, should have still been paid. However I feel about his talent level or not. I mean, what I saw of him, he was fine. He was a decent enough worker, can bounce around, because he was the smaller of the two. But to release somebody while they're injured, when you are the son of a billionaire and you are paying so many people so much money in quarter-full buildings, or in the case of some smaller arenas that are full, you can at least spare a few bucks and help a guy out while he recovers from a broken jaw, doing something that he loves. So yeah, hopefully Anthony Henry recovers. Maybe WWE could bring him in. I think they could get some benefit out of him. That being said, hope he recovers from that broken jaw, but not a great look for Tony Khan. Slim J, I don't know who that is. I have nothing against him. I don't know who he is. Good luck. Gravity, the man that did the slow astronaut walk, and yeah, that's really about all I remember. Oh, he had that match with Pac. The man that Gravity forgot. Ah ha ha ha. Go back to AAA or CMLL or wherever he's from. Maybe some U.S. promotions will use him on the indies, but I don't know. Jose the Assistant surprises me because he was in better shape than half the roster, to be perfectly honest. Remember during the brawl, he'd rip off his goddamn shirt and he'd do it, and I'd go, he's in better shape than half the roster. He could cut a decent enough promo. I don't know what they necessarily could do with him. Maybe if Lucha Underground was still around, he could be somebody to utilize because he's a good talker. Actually, I think, if we funded Lucha Underground properly and didn't hold people to 7-year contracts for no reason, reportedly, he would actually be pretty good for that. We need more promotions like Crazy Lucha Underground. That being said, Jose the Assistant, I don't know what you necessarily do with him, but he's a decent talker. Parker Bourgeois, the guy that they marketed as the next Brock Lesnar. By they, I mean WWE. And then he was Harlan, and that didn't work. And then he was part of Swerve's group. That didn't work. And he's been working in AAA and recently said that AEW was his home, something like that. And yeah, that didn't work. And the guy's been getting paid for a couple years by AEW. If he's not going to get it now, I don't know if he ever will. He has intensity. I don't know if he's got the ability to put it together. If he's working in AAA, hopefully he can get some work there. And then Jora Joel. Now, I had to look at a picture of this guy. I want to close with this. I remember looking at Jora Joel and thinking, well, he's got a good look. He's in shape. He looks like quite an athlete. He had that brief little flirtation with television when he was with Matt Hardy, when Matt Hardy was doing the Matt Hardy group thing where he's holding private parties to their contracts or whatever the fuck that was. And Joel was like an understudy. And then they just seemingly forgot about him. I don't know if he's been competing on Ring of Honor television. I imagine he's been competing in the Indies. I mean, I'm not sure because I don't watch a lot of Ring of Honor weekly programming. There's only so many hours in the day and so much sanity I can put towards wrestling. But I remember looking and thinking, he's got a good look. He was on some of the last episodes, I believe, of AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. And he's somebody, I think, maybe WWE can give him a look. Impact. He's a good-looking athlete. Let's see what else he can do. And not much I'll close with that, but in brief, I feel bad for any of the talents that got released. The reason I feel bad for any of the talents that got released is because at the end of the day, this is their livelihood. This is how they earn money. Tony Khan needs to make some tough decisions, which he wouldn't have had to have made if he maybe hadn't given so much money to people that hadn't contributed all that much to the bottom line. I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about bigger stars that really, quite frankly, are just coasting on their past glory and taking up money, that maybe they haven't necessarily earned. Good thing WCW didn't do. Oh, they did, and they were on the same network, run by a guy that had millions and millions and billions of dollars. I hope that people maybe realize that at the end of the day, wrestling is a business. Now, are any of these people going to be missed on AEW television? Probably not. I mean, I'll miss Dasha, and nothing against them. Nothing against any of these people. But we're going to see more cuts, and we're going to see some cuts I think that are going to be pretty frustrating. So that's my take right there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.